Harry is a drug-addled embarrassment who should be either locked up or shut down. And things have reached a path where his father really does need to remove him off the royal family website.
Harry's total humiliation, court defeat, balding breakdown, and why King Charles must act now.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Rogers Talking. Today, we're unpacking what feels like a major turning point in the ongoing saga of Prince Harry.
This week has been rough for the Duke of Sussex, and the experts aren't holding back. From a crushing court defeat to questions about his appearance and state of mind, it seems like the walls are closing in. Let's start with the big one. Harry suffered a significant loss in his legal battle against Associated Newspapers, the publishers of the Daily Mail. He was part of a group trying to take them down in what many are calling an attempt to shake down one of Britain's biggest media outlets. The judge, Mr. Justice Nichol, ruled against him and the other claimants, and the reactions? Brutal but honest. One commentator didn't mince words, calling Harry a drug-adult embarrassment, who should be either locked up or shut down. Strong stuff, right? But it reflects the growing frustration. Things have reached a point where his father, King Charles, really needs to remove him from the royal family website. If the king fails to do that, he's being remiss in his duty to the British people and the crown. That's the kind of straight talk we're hearing now.
Let's talk about something more personal that has everyone buzzing. The state of Prince Harry's hairline. Look, this isn't about shaming anyone for natural changes.
But according to observers, including Andrew Lawrence, after seeing Harry during his recent UK appearances, it's Clippers #1 all over. The symbolism here runs deep. This was the man who once called out Prince William for being alarmingly bald. Now, the mirror seems to be reflecting something Harry isn't ready to face. As one voice put it, why would a man in his 40s walk around with that kind of hairline without addressing it? Prince William has acknowledged where he's at and owns it. Harry, on the other hand, seems to be clinging to an image of himself as the handsome young prince. The rest of the world sees a different reality. Even mainstream outlets like the Daily Telegraph have admitted that while Harry is defiant in defeat, his life's work now lies in ruin. Lady Colin Campbell. Lady C has been vocal about this too. I want to spend some time on Lady C's perspective because she brings decades of experience and personal insight. She's successfully sued newspapers, including Associated Newspapers, multiple times. She's faced real damage from press coverage over years. Yet she was relieved by the judge's ruling against Harry and the group she called money-grubbing damaged shoppers, whose case was founded on fraud. Lady C wrote powerfully about this. She has scant sympathy for those so egotistical they'd try to destroy a major newspaper company. Hacked Off's objective, with Harry involved, would have been devastating for press freedom. She knows the judge personally from her own cases and described him as patient and fair. In her view, Harry and the others had no case they tried to fabricate one. She even suggested some actions bordered on perverting the course of justice. Strong accusations, but coming from someone who's been in the trenches. Harry talks a lot about accountability. Lady C says it's time some of those involved in what she called a £50 million shakedown are held to account. The brass neck of it all is stunning. Even after their main witness allegedly had issues with the statements, they pushed on. The judge's ruling was seen as a bright day for a free press in Britain.
Now, let's get into Harry's appearance this week. Did he look like a broken man? There's something weird about refusing to deal with his hair one way or the other.
It's like clinging to a fantasy image while reality has moved on. Lady C takes the view that if he wants to be natural, that's his right. But she's mystified why he doesn't get implants. She's done it herself, calls it one of the best decisions, and even gifted it to a son. The lack of insight is what gets her. Harry mocks William for baldness but denies his own situation. It shows immaturity and, in her words, stupidity putting down his brother for situations he shares. This ties right back to the court case. Harry went in thinking he was the dragon slayer who would destroy the British free press. But you can't make stuff up in court.
Fleet Street has had its scandals, and crime should be punished. But this case wasn't built on solid ground. Lady C's own history gives her credibility.
She defended the ruling even while criticizing the mail at times. The claimants, including Harry, Dorian Lawrence, Elton John, and others, were lucky it wasn't referred for a criminal investigation over false witness statements. Harry and Meghan have also been moaning about white privilege and playing victim cards despite being among the most privileged people on earth. The irony is thick. Harry took the king's RAVEC to court, lost, complained to politicians, and tried to destroy a fundamental part of democracy, the free press. King Charles needs to act. Keeping him listed prominently on the royal website now feels inexcusable. There's more. It emerged Harry sought a deal with the Daily Mail before the case blew up. They risked everything by not settling on his terms, which apparently included never attacking him again. Paul Dacre and the team stood firm. Good on them in this instance, even if there have been past issues. Lady C doesn't hold back on Dorian Lawrence either. As a Jamaican herself, she notes class differences and how Dorian was elevated to peerage by David Cameron for political reasons. Neville Lawrence, Stephen's father, reportedly deplores her behavior. She's seen as ingratiating herself with the elite, switching benches and showing little loyalty.
One of the most fascinating parts is the Princess Diana angle. Harry claims he's doing what his mother would want. But Richard Kay, who is close to Diana, and Paul Dacre say absolutely not.
The Mail supported Diana heavily during the divorce, took her side, and she was practically a friend of the paper. She dropped in, had lunches, used them as a conduit. Lady C confirms Diana was a Daily Mail girl. She was a PR genius who used the press masterfully, including writing parts of books about herself. Lady C's own experience writing about Diana was complicated, started as authorized but fell apart because Diana was telling too many lies about Charles. Diana played the victim narrative later, but initially admitted the marriage issues stemmed from being mismatched. Piers Morgan weighed in too, sharing how Diana called him, met him, approved stories. The idea that every story was gained illegally is knocked out by the judgment. Diana colluded with the press when it suited her. Harry seems to lack the full picture of those nuances. Let's step back and think about what this all means. Harry's Invictus work and past service get praise elsewhere, but here we're seeing the personal and legal fallout dominating headlines. The court case wasn't just about privacy, it was an attempt to reshape media accountability in a way that could have hurt everyone's access to information.
Lady C's decades of litigation experience shine through. She gave the claimants every chance in her mind but saw fraud. The arrogance of persisting after weaknesses were exposed is what stands out.
For a free society, press freedom matters, even when papers get it wrong sometimes. There are already legal remedies without trying to bankrupt or shut down outlets. What does the future hold? Will there be an appeal? Experts say slim chances of success. The financial and reputational risks are huge. Meanwhile, the royal family has to navigate how to handle a son who's suing security arrangements, criticizing institutions, and now losing big in court. Visual cues throughout, timestamps for chapters like the hairline symbolism, Lady C's takedown, Diana's real relationship with the Mail, what King Charles should do. This isn't just tabloid gossip. It's about accountability, maturity, insight, and the role of the monarchy in modern Britain. Harry seems defiant, but as outlets note, his life's work is in ruins according to some. The public is watching closely. Look, royal watching is full of drama, contradictions, and strong opinions on all sides. Harry's story has layers: service, loss, family pain, choices that led overseas. But this week's events highlight real consequences. From the court ruling to personal presentation to broader attacks on press freedom, it's a lot. What do you think? Should King Charles remove Harry from the website? Is the hair thing symbolic or overblown? Does Diana's actual history with the Mail change how you see Harry's crusade?
What do you think? Should King Charles remove Harry from the website? Is the hair thing symbolic or overblown? Does Diana's actual history with the Mail change how you see Harry's crusade?
Drop your thoughts in the comments. I read them and we can discuss in future videos. If you're here for more deep dives into royal family news, true crime, or dramatic stories, make sure you're subscribed and hitting the bell. Like this video if you want more on the Sussexes or expert takes like Lady C's. Share it with fellow royal watchers. Thanks for spending this time with me. Let's keep the conversation going. See you in the next one.